All right, we're back with some more big ambitions. Last episode, if you were around, you saw that we hired a driver. We have a driver. Unfortunately, they can't drive the truck. They don't have the skill level to drive the truck somehow. And our purchasing agent received an offer from one of our rivals and wanted immediate training. So we missed our delivery of our clothing, unfortunately. I think at this point, though, they are still in training at this point. A couple of hours left for that. So tomorrow we'll get them back in the office and we will get an urgent order in for clothing because we're going to be out of clothing tomorrow, I think, at most. Yeah, so we're out at Fresh Threads also. So that's the Midtown store. And then Fresh Threads is also going to be running low on, yeah, we don't have a day's worth of inventory here. So that'll be the next step. I think we're done for the day here so far and where we're picking up from last time. I am going to waste some time. I will be back on Tuesday. Okay, so I stopped midway because we have a couple of employees that have finished their training. This is my purchasing agent, so we're going to get them back into their desk and we're going to get a order placed and an urgent order for tomorrow, unfortunately. So we have inventory for tomorrow. This number is not going to be anywhere near what it was going into tomorrow. We have a driver. We're going to see. Don't need that plan, I don't think. Okay, so we do have. No, we do not have, because we don't have this person assigned. Now, let's see if they can drive the truck. They cannot drive the truck. Wow, what does the skill level have to be? It must have to be 100%. All right, so tomorrow, once again, we're training our truck driver. So I will finish out the day here wasting time, and I, again, will be back on Tuesday. We will have a delivery on Tuesday of clothing, so we'll have to probably make that delivery ourselves. I will skip ahead and be back on Tuesday. So, yeah, we had a really bad day yesterday. Really bad day. And it all stems from not having goods in the warehouse for Fresh Threads. I mean, Fresh Threads also lost $1,200. Salaries, rent, marketing all went in, and we didn't sell anything because we were out. So that's a bummer. We do have an order coming in, should be coming in today. And I want to make sure that that is in fact the case. Yes, 8 a.m. we'll have a delivery. So I am going to make my way over to the warehouse to drive the truck to the different clothing stores as we get that delivery. And I'll cut this out and I'll see you when I'm back at the warehouse. All right, I'm at the warehouse, kind of just waiting for deliveries to show up at this point. I think what we're going to do, though, is we will take a look at our inventory for the vegetable store and see what we need. We're in pretty good shape there. We don't really need anything there. So we've got about another half an hour before our delivery of the clothing shows up. And I think come Friday, what we will do Friday afternoon is on Saturday and potentially on Sunday, we will send our purchasing agents as well as our HR agents. All right, I need 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those. Let's get those into the truck. We're going to drive the truck. And I think what we're going to do, so to finish my thought there, I think we're going to do the HR person, the purchasing agents, the, let's see, 50, 50, 50. Wait a minute, what do we have here? Classic cheap mail. All right, so those 50s are going to go as well. As well as, let's grab maybe a few more paper bags just in case we need them. I think what we're going to do come Friday afternoon, late Friday afternoon, so we're a couple of days away from that yet, is we will then send our purchasing agents as well as our HR person off to training again. Hopefully to expand on their skills. All right, let's get this. Yeah, way to go, dude. Park right there. I can't even get out of here. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right. Well, you saw me struggle there. Oh, my God. This thing takes such wide turns. And it doesn't even really fit into a parking spot. See, it says I'm illegally parked. I'm going to have to... I mean, I can't go any closer. All right, this is cheap mail clothing. So this is cheap mail, classic cheap mail. I need to find another classic. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Classic cheap mail. That 150 is... I know, actually, let me do this. Well, now that I'm here. Classic cheap female. Classic cheap female. Classic cheap female. Classic cheap female. Let me grab the dolly here. And we're selling more here than at the other store, so I'm going to bring, first off, one of the 150s, and then, yeah. Let's see. The 150s in, and then I'm going to bring the 50s in as well. Modern cheap mail. Modern cheap female are going to be on the remaining empty racks. So now we've got full racks again, at least. These are going to go on storage shelf. Come on, what are you doing? I probably got a parking ticket. Shoot. Grab some bags. Where's my hand truck at? There's my hand truck. Bags. And the remaining 50s. This is why I needed the driver, because apparently the driver doesn't have any problem parking and being able to unload, I guess. So it's kind of unfortunate that we hired a driver, and even after multiple training sessions, they don't have the training to drive this truck. All right, I'm going to get this delivery set up here, and when I get there, I will be back. All right, I made it to the store, and again, I don't understand how folks drive like that, but whatever. All right, so, and let me grab the hand truck. I'm going to end up with another parking ticket, of course, because for some reason, these vehicles just don't fit in a parking spot. All right, bags. Let's give you the bags that you need. Modern cheap mail. Nope. Modern cheap. All right, what do we have here? Modern cheap mail. Modern cheap mail. That one can go on the shelf. Somehow I ended up with the wrong stuff. Awesome. Modern cheap female. Modern cheap female. We have no classic cheap male here. Somehow we have no classic cheap male. Awesome. Somehow I forgot to bring that, apparently. In last episode, we also $125. Awesome. Last episode, we also got our tax bill. So I'm going to head back to the warehouse, park the truck, and I will be back when I'm there. All right. So I still need classic cheap male. I need classic cheap male clothing at Fresh Threads, also up in Midtown. So I thought I had grabbed classic cheap male, classic cheap female. Oh, I see what I did. I didn't come back for the 150s for that store. And I didn't put the extra 50s in the other store. Oh, so we have a purchasing agent. We need to get another order in. So we're going to get this order in. We're going to get this order in just so we know we have the orders in. I'm going to put this in my car and drive it up to the other store in Midtown. And when I am at that store, I will be back. All right, I just noticed I'm about out of food stuffs for the day, so I am going to stop actually momentarily at my food store here, grab some apples, and eat some apples. And maybe some pears. I mentioned this the last time, remember, since you have a food store, you can actually go into your own store and basically get free food. So I'm back off to the store in Midtown. I'll be back when I'm there. All right, I am here. Awesome. I'm about ready to run out of energy too. All right, what do we need? Classic cheap mail, and that's what I have. All right, so there we go. We got classic cheap mail. And putting the rest on the storage shelf. So unfortunately, I am fully stocked at both stores, but I incorrectly took those 50 boxes here where I was going to put the 50 boxes in the other store's storage shelf. So we have a little more stock here than we probably need, and probably not enough in the other store. All right, so there's our daily take. It was nothing, but we were out of stock. I am going to head back at this point, and I'm not going to bore you with that. And head back to my apartment as well. So I will see you when I am back in front of the store. All right, I spent a little money filling my gas tank, getting the car fixed. I'm headed home here. It's almost 1:30 a.m., so I'm not going to sleep a whole lot. I did get information back that our driver has finished some training, so we'll have to see if they're now able and capable of 94%. I would have to think by now they should be ready to yeah, not that one. Okay, show warehouse. Still not enough. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they apparently have to be 100% is my guess. That's the only thing I can think of. They have to be at 100% before they can drive the truck. That's rather unfortunate. All right, I am going to go through a little bit of time here, skipping ahead, and I will be back later on Wednesday. All right, so you already saw we had a miserable day yesterday. Just an abysmal day. That's our lowest take in quite some time. But we were out of inventory on a lot of stuff. So that's the first thing. The next thing, I don't think we may have to probably need some carrots and some apples. So I'm going to head to the warehouse and grab some carrots and some apples. And there's no sense in grabbing the truck for that. there's a spot down here. All right, just to make sure what we need carrots and apples. Probably, I think we should be okay with just carrots and apples for at least the day. Carrots, apples. Take this out to my car. Get this back over to Fresh Foods. And since it's right around the corner, we won't need to cut this out. We'll just get there. And we'll take the carrots. And then I don't think there's anything else we really need to do today. So we will deliver this and pretty much be done for the day. So I'm going to head back to my apartment with my car parked all janky. And because we didn't do very well yesterday, I'm not going to worry about trying to get into another business or anything else, looking at another place yet, doing anything like that. We've got to pay our taxes coming up. So we'll need to do that. I'm going to go ahead and skip. And if nothing pertinent comes up on the rest of the day on Wednesday, I will see you on Thursday. All right, nothing pertinent came up. We did do much better yesterday than the day before. Of course, that had to do with our stock levels the day before. And unless the fruits and vegetable store needs something, yeah, we'll probably ought to do pears, lettuce, and bananas. And how are we on the clothing store? Yeah, we're running a little short on the classic cheap mail. Oh, we're way. All right, so we're going to need this order that we have for this one to come in urgently. So we're going to get this one today. We'll have to make some more deliveries today. And then we're also going to have to get some stuff for the Fresh Foods store. So I'm going to run and do that now. And I will be back when I'm in front of the warehouse. Actually, you know what? Not a parking spot on the street. At the end of the street there is. So we're going to come in here and grab some stuff that we need at the Fresh Foods. Get that into the car and get it into the store maybe before it opens. Pears, lettuce, and bananas. Pears, lettuce, and bananas. Pears, bananas, lettuce. All right, so we have pretty much what our store needs here, our produce store, fruits and vegetable store. And I'm going to take a chance here, of course. Am I on the sidewalk? Is that? Yeah, must have been. All right. Pears. Holy smokes. It's busy already. And we should see here in just a minute the order come in. I don't see where the order came in. Did I not get something on urgent order placed tomorrow? Well, I thought I had it in for today. I have stock though, I think, right? Some. Not enough. Maybe enough to get through the day. Maybe enough to get through the day, but not any more than that. So that said, I think though we're done for this day and we're going to head back to the apartment, I think, and waste another day, and then let's see, we still got 17 days left to pay our tax bill. So I am going to waste some time on Thursday. If anything important comes up, I will stop. Otherwise, I'll see you on Friday. All right. So I did break in because our driver finished their training. So we're going to see now, hopefully, we're going to see now. All right. So we do have a driver now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a destination of fresh foods. And we can kind of see now when our stock runs out, right? This is warehouse stock, however. This is not store stock. So, let's see. What do we have in the stores, though? So, tomorrow, on Friday, we should be delivering one thing of carrots, one thing of tomatoes, and that should just about do it for that. All right, so let's go back to this. Let's go to here. Let's go. No, I need to go here. And so we need to, I don't know what this means though. Minimum stock will deliver up to 7 destinations. So it's interesting. I think what we're going to do, we're going to put everything in there for that. That way they're delivering up to 500, I think is how that's going to work. We'll have to see. And then we don't have any additional stuff in the warehouse for that. So that we'll have to come back for that. You can see we're getting close again on clothing. So we have an order coming in. We're not out yet, but we're getting close. We are out at this store. So we've lost sales today for sure. But we have deliveries coming. And now what we should see though, okay. So this would be the delivery amount, I guess, from, yeah, that's not what I want though. Because we have, so this is not what we would want. We have a delivery coming, I believe. So we'll check that out on Friday. I am going to waste the rest of Thursday and be back on Friday. Yeah, we didn't have as great of a day again. And again, a large part of that, I'm sure, has to do with the fact that we're out of clothing again at one of our stores. So that's kind of where we're at with that. I don't really know that I need to do a whole lot today. I do want to take a look here and see what kind of possibility we have. Yeah, we don't have any possibility here of any larger or any more people. Well, maybe we do. Do we? We'll have to, let's see here. Maybe one more. Might be able to get 2 more desks in there. Might. Nope, because I can't get out now. Cannot get out now. But might we be able to put that person there? And if I walk, come on, get out of there. Might be able to get 1 more desk. Although, okay, that'll fit there. And that'll fit there. So we could probably get at least another desk or 2 in here before we need to start looking at a different headquarters building, which we may look at some point. A little larger building than that one to get more desks and stuff in. All right, I'm going to go waste a little bit of time so that we can kind of see if our All right, now let's see if our logistics manager can add a new destination and fresh threads. And I don't know. So I guess the first thing I need to figure out is whether or not a delivery was made. Looks like it. Okay, so delivery was made. Let's see. I don't know if this will deliver this tomorrow, though. So let's see. 200. This is to fresh threads. 200. And we need to make sure they have plenty of bags. And then we add a new destination, which would be fresh threads also, and we want them to have 150, 150, 150, and 150. Although 500 says it would only last them 6 days. See, it doesn't sound right. That sounds like that's the warehouse. But all right. So we've got that taken care of. And again, at the end of the day, we were going to send our logistics manager, purchasing manager, and HR manager all off to training because they're not working on Saturdays and Sundays. And that will boost their skill level at least a couple percent over those 2 days. And then we'll get them back on the schedule on Monday. I am going to skip some time here on Friday to see first if deliveries are made. Let's do that, actually. Let's see. And it doesn't look like deliveries were, in fact, made. So, yeah, it doesn't look like it. All right. So we didn't get deliveries made. I'm going to skip another 2 hours. This is still before 4 o'clock. All right. So we're not getting deliveries made. So that must have been basically for tomorrow, basically, and we're out of clothing. So I'm going to go to the warehouse to get some clothing for the one store for sure. And when I'm at the warehouse, I will be back. All right. I'm out in front of the warehouse. I am going to grab the flatbed. So we need, not at Fresh Threads also, it doesn't look like. Everything is at Fresh Threads. So everything is at Fresh Threads. Yeah, okay. We've got Classic Cheap Mail is there still, so we won't necessarily need that. We're going to need everything else, though. Classic Cheap Mail, we don't necessarily, well, here, I'll get the 50 box. All right, 150 for Classic Cheap Female. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way. Classic Cheap Male, Modern Cheap Male, Modern Cheap Male, Modern Cheap Female. Male, Classic Cheap Female. Modern Cheap Male, Modern Cheap Male, Modern Cheap Female. Modern Cheap Female. All right, let's get all this in the car and get this over to Fresh Threads. And again, you don't need to take these back inside, right? We just park them out on the sidewalk. They end up back in our warehouse magically. We're getting close to the end of this episode as well. I do want to let you guys know I have seen that we are getting some viewers that are not subscribed, which I certainly appreciate all views. I would also appreciate a subscription. If you would hit that subscribe button, I would certainly appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps YouTube understand that these videos are being enjoyed by folks. Holy smokes. Yeah, well, give me a minute. All right, what do I have here? I got classic cheap mail. Classic cheap mail. All right, so this is going to go on the shelf. Wow. I didn't think I was going to be out of stuff when I got here. Well, I guess it did tell me I was out of things, right? So if you wouldn't mind giving a like, a subscribe, I would certainly appreciate it. Again, that subscription costs you nothing. Helps YouTube decide whether or not to push these videos out to other folks that may want to see these kinds of videos. I would certainly appreciate it. The like does wonders as well. And I think, again, I asked on the last episode if we have classic cheap female. If we have any ideas on what business next and where, I'm open to those suggestions. So let me know where and what we want to put in our empire next. We do have an option for a theater here in Hell's Kitchen, but I don't have the money to do the theater. So although if you guys tell me movie theater, I'll try to do it, but it's going to be a while before we get there. I will say that. It's not going to be something where I'm going to be able to do the movie theater on next episode because I just don't have the money to one, rent the building, and two, outfit it with everything that it needs. So, you can see that the stores are not doing what we thought maybe they would do. Okay, and so now Fresh Threads also is running low on some stuff. I think what I'm going to do, though, we're at the end of the business day. We're going to let that go because I don't think they're truly out. Yeah, they're short, but I think tomorrow's deliveries will take care of this, I think. So we'll see. If not, then so be it. Oh, and then we're at the end of the day. So here's what I am going to do. We are going to unassign and train tomorrow. We are going to unassign and train tomorrow. We are going to unassign and train tomorrow. And the same. All right. So those folks are going to be in training tomorrow. We're going to do the same on Sunday. Guys, this is getting to be a long episode, so I think what we're going to do, now that I'm back in the apartment, we are going to end it here. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would certainly appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys for watching this one. Come back and watch the next. We'll see you.